Hey everybody, welcome to Perpetual Motion. Today we're diving into the exciting world of artificial intelligence, aka AI. This is a podcast for lifelong learners. Here we focus on self-care, economic independence, communication, and positive relationship. I'm your host, Dr. Mo Anderson. In each episode, I interview thought leaders from all over the world who share tips and tools that add immediate value to your personal growth. And my guest today is no exception. Andrew Weiss is a podcaster, Guinness World Record holder, and accountability coach who helps people break through their limiting beliefs. Yes, your beliefs could be holding you back and achieve their full potential while leveraging AI. Again, that's artificial intelligence. Our goal today is to provide you with a comprehensive understanding of AI, its common applications, and what the future might hold. We'll also address some misconceptions along the way. So if you don't want to get left behind in the AI revolution, pump up the volume and grab a seat.
You can't say Dr. Mo ain't tell ya that fear magnifies the consequence.
Welcome, Andrew.
Hello. Yes, excited to be here. Thank you again for hosting.
I have so been looking forward to this. You are most welcome. It's my pleasure. There are a lot of topics I talk about repeatedly from different perspectives of the prism, but this is prism. Let me be clear that I said prism, folks, not prison. But this is my first conversation about AI. And I'll start by sharing with you that I used AI, chat GPT precisely to generate my interview questions today. I haven't done that before, but I have used it to create show notes, get research for workshops. I'm writing and create social media posts. I've been doing that for about 3 months and I'm loving it. So I'm looking forward to learning other uses. And I know you're an expert in this. So I think first, though, so that the listeners don't get mad at me, I did say that you have a Guinness World Record. Can you tell us about that? What is your world record in?
Oh, if you must know, it's actually 2 Guinness World Records because we broke the first one. But in August 2020, we set the Guinness World Record for world's largest virtual podcasting event in 1 week. And our goal was to get 5,000 people. We got 5,003 people. And then we actually broke our own record in 2021 and had 5,816 people attend our 1 week virtual event for podcasting. So it's very exciting.
That is exciting. I wish I could have been a part of that, but that's a record that's going to be hard for someone to break too. But congratulations on that. And then my next question is, what got you started with, you had to start somewhere before you became an AI expert. What got you started on this journey?
Yeah, what got started on the journey for me is when ChatGPT came out and I saw all these social posts saying people missed out when the blog revolution came out. People missed out when the social media revolution came out. People missed out when the .com bubble was happening. If you want to be ahead of the game right now, being involved with AI is how to stay one step ahead of everyone. And I'm going, okay, I like learning new things. I like technology. I like making life easier and faster and better for me. And as far as expert goes, I'd say it's pretty subjective because we're all new to this and we're all learning together, figuring out what works and what doesn't work. But it has been cool already teaching my friends and colleagues and coworkers, with the AI that I'm using to make my life easier.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And you're right. I'm an early adopter. Even before I became a boomer, I've always been an early adopter, but missed that very leading edge of things so often. So this one, I'm with you in that as soon as I, heard about it, I was like, okay, I got to get on board. I got to learn what I can and learn along the way. And it's been a lot of fun. Let's start with just understanding the basics of AI. What is artificial intelligence and how does it differ from human intelligence?
Yes. So artificial intelligence is actually created by humans. And so I was sitting on a talk recently about a guy who's able to explain it better than I probably could. So I'll kind of paraphrase what he said. His name's Steve Brown. He's known as the futurist. And he works for Intel and Google to help predict the future of technology. And one of the things that stood out to me, as you mentioned, is AI, you got to remember, is created by humans. And so AI, artificial intelligence, essentially takes human information and then creates what we want it to create. And a classic example he used is that they wanted to create an AI for how to vet candidates for a job position. And one of the first models that they were trying to create this AI model to help figure out who the best candidates would be, they started discovering that the model was hiring 80% men and kept rejecting all these women for some reason. And they're going, what, why is this AI model doing this, doing it this way? What's wrong with AI? What the heck? It's racist. It's sexist. And what they found is that AI was actually just copying the models that Amazon was using to help hire people. And it was actually Amazon's fault for being sexist with how they would hire people. So that's the thing we need to remember, is that AI is created by humans. And yes, it is growing more and more powerful. But hopefully we're not too close to Terminator, Starlink, and all that. But just understanding that AI essentially created what humans create, and it's just a matter of figuring out how to leverage it and constantly tweak it to the best of our advantage.
And I remember reading about that went through the Black Twitter pretty quickly.
Yeah, I bet.
when that story came out, and it's the same thing with the photos. What am I trying to say? With the videos and photo recognition as well. There have been some instances like that. And again, it's human error, not the artificial intelligence. That's a great point. AI, as you know, has been around for decades, but it's become a buzzword recently. Could you give us an overview of what has led to this huge interest and development in AI? I know what got you started in it, but in general, why do you think it's spreading like a brush fire?
Yeah, it really is a 100-year overnight success. And obviously it's constantly evolving. It's constantly going to change and get better, faster, stronger. I think back with the first computer, I believe, was created around 1940, and I could be making that up, but obviously humans had to program artificial intelligence in order for computers to work so that we can properly use computers. And then there's been a lot of AI technology even before the ChatGPT boom, like hearing about Jasper and hearing about the Intel machine that used to go on game shows and outsmart people and chess moves and game shows and stuff. So it really is a constant evolution. And obviously we've hit a new breaking point with ChatGPT. And it's really good that ChatGPT came out, because it forced Facebook, Google, all these other companies to create their own version of ChatGPT. And hopefully the humans benefit the most, just like with the car race in a capitalist market, where because these companies want to put the best product for the best value, us humans, us common folk per se, benefit the most from it. And so it's definitely so cool that ChatGPT was able to make its waves in the news, because of the fact that it's been able to have great marketing. And just to give you those listening a sense, in case you haven't already heard, I'll have to pull up the exact numbers here, but let's say it took a year for Facebook to get 1 million users, and it took 6 months for Netflix to get 1 million users. I believe ChatGPT was able to get to 1 million users in like a week.
Oh my! Wow.
To just kind of show how excited people are about it and how well it was marketed and how good the job the social media team did with that. So it's a combination of just really highlighting how far AI has come, having good marketing and PR behind it. And just, it's a race to see, as a quote I love, I gotta figure out who said it, that the world isn't going to be taken over by AI. It'll be taken over by people who know how to use AI. So you might as well be one of those people who know how to use it.
Right. That's deep and very profound. The future of AI is promising and uncertain. What are some potential areas of growth and innovation you're seeing, or that we can expect to see in the next decade?
Yeah, so one of the things that got pointed out to me in the talk of Steve Brown, the futurist, is that paralegals are actually the most at-risk job that's in danger. Because AI is getting so good at researching things and finding the facts and finding the case studies and being able to point out certain court cases. So just constantly recognizing, where can AI be automated? And fortunately, the human brain creatively is still light years ahead of AI in the sense of how well we can create art, how well we can have a conversation with someone one to one, and just kind of recognize that, yes, like life can be scary to think about how far AI can go, but also recognize that some things aren't going to change and some things aren't going to be as drastic as we think we are. We also need to recognize that being aware of certain things changing. A classic example I like to use is the ice business used to have 60,000 employees, which is a lot. And of course,
right.
now you and I are going, well, we can get ice for free. Why would I pay anyone to get ice? Of course, if you don't have a freezer or ice machine, that's a different story. But the answer is industries are changing all the time. Kodak didn't adapt. All these big companies are, because they don't adapt, they lose and they go bankrupt. And so just constantly be researching, what are the ways that I can implement AI? What are the ways that I can creatively stand out from what an AI can do? And just kind of constantly evaluate that.
Yeah, that's a good point. You brought back a memory of my grandmother telling me about the ice box. And I remember a couple of my grandparents referring to the refrigerator as the ice box. And I finally asked about it. And they said that was someone's job at some point. They just, the refrigerator was a container. It didn't make ice or keep things very cold. Someone would bring a big block of ice. That was his job. And the milkman. But I didn't get to see it, but I think I was a generation after that. And now they're gone. So that's the other thing is that people have to pay attention to, like the paralegals, is it time for me to get some additional training and, learn AI, teach other people AI like you're doing and not wait until the pink slip comes. So I'm loving these analogies that you're giving. There's been a lot of discussion from Congress to the water cooler about the ethical considerations and how they should play a role in AI development. How do we ensure, or what is being done so that AI technologies are developed and used responsibly as they continue to evolve?
No, it's definitely a great question, and I'm not a lawyer. But
I play one on TV.
yeah, exactly. But what I do say is I do agree there absolutely needs to be ethics boards. There absolutely needs to be rules in place that all companies and all individuals and content creators need to follow when it comes to ethics and AI. So whatever those ethics communities and boards and committees decide, I think as long as we all agree to the same rules that sound fair and great to us, we should definitely abide by them. So it's another great story examples like the ethics of art and copying art and things like that. It might take someone days or weeks or years to paint a mural or something, and it can take AI a few seconds to create the same thing. But one of the things we have to remember is that when it comes to AI and art is that, one, we're the ones who have to put the prompt in the first place for AI to create the art. Two, part of creating art is the enjoyment of the process in the first place. And so hopefully people understand that you do art to enjoy the process of it, the journey, the emotions that you help go through when you're creating that. And yes, if Pablo Picasso was alive today, maybe he would like AI for the sense of like, wait, it takes me all this time to create this one picture when I can just type a picture I want to create into an AI prompter. Maybe he'd like that. Maybe he wouldn't. But just understanding that it's up to each person's interpretation, how they want to leverage it. Some song artists are getting pissed off that their voice is using for songs, and other song artists are saying, yeah, take my voice and make whatever song you can get with it. And if you make it go viral, I'll share some of the money with you.
Right. Even better.
So it's just, so it just goes back to like understanding, the whys behind why we create art, how we use AI in art. And also recognizing too that I agree with all ethical ramifications should be reviewed and agreed upon.
Yeah. AI, and we've kind of addressed this a little bit, but it's raised a lot of concerns about job displacement. What is your perspective on how it might impact the job market broadly? And are there ways to mitigate these effects?
Yeah, so I was mentioning earlier about the ice business going out of business, and in college, there was a great story about the college professor taught where she goes, okay, let's say you have person A who decides they want to become a fisherman. So they get a spear and they start going out there and stabbing fish, and they're catching maybe 4 or 5, maybe 10 fish a day. Then you have another person who wants to start a fishing business. They start inventing nets and they start building boats and they start creating these machines and fish farms, and they're able to, produce 500, 1,000 fish per day. And so of course, person A is probably going, well, crap, what the heck am I going to do now? And so then person A decides that they want to become a puppeteer or something like that and put on shows, and they're able to bring in all these people to come watch their puppet shows. And so the answer is, all we can do is keep doing our best with what we have, while also understanding that sometimes adaptation is necessary. And that's how life works. I mean, just like people didn't want to be let go or fired from the ice business, people probably don't want to be let go and fired if you're fisherman A. But the answer is, just keep learning to adapt, keep learning how to stay one step ahead. Some of the things that are still going to be AI proof are, human to human connection, giving presentations as a human, and just kind of creating delicious food at restaurants as well. So just keep recognizing and researching each day, what are the new technologies coming out? How can I stay one step ahead? How can I be AI proof? But also recognizing how can I use AI to my advantage? If you're currently doing admin tasks, and maybe you can figure out how you can outsource some of your admin tasks to AI so you can work on better things of connecting with more people, getting more clients, making more sales. And so that's what people need to recognize and remember too, is that AI is used as a supplemental thing. It's not all of AI is meant to take your job. It's meant to help you be better at your job, and recognize that too.
Exactly. As I alluded to in the intro, it's helping me to be more efficient. It's saving me time. I mean, I write novels. There's no way I'm going to let AI write a novel for me, but it can certainly research a setting for me. That's, that's going to help me all around. And driverless cars, I have a friend that was about to get into trucking, and I'm like, hey, the writings on the wall, you might want to look at another way to do that, or learning more about that technology. So there's a lot of, it's not really new that we're challenged by machines or automation or technology to evolve. That's how man has survived on the planet in so many ways. So you make really great points. Let's talk about some misconceptions. AI has sometimes been portrayed in movies and media. I think there was a movie called Her, as having a human-like consciousness. What's the reality behind this portrayal, and why is this misconception so prevalent?
It's the movies are a funny thing, aren't they, Dr. Mo?
Yes, they are.
there's movies about zombies. There's movies about aliens. There's movies about ghosts. There's movies about monsters. There's movies about a lot of things. And yes, some of them come from ideas of truth. Some of them come from ideas of dramatic interpretations of things. So we need to remember that, yes, there are more and more AI models that can adapt to you and talk like you. And there's 11 labs that can take your voice. There's digitalid.com that can take your face. And so, yes, it is going to be tricky to kind of detect the deep fakes the next few years about what's real and what's not, who's talking and who's not. And hopefully they're able to create a great technology to help combat that, where people are able to easily Photoshop your voice and face onto things. That's been happening for years and years. I mean, my father sent me an NPR article about a woman who was basically shunned by her whole community because someone had doctored her face into an X-rated video, even though she wasn't even a part of any of that. But because they took her face and photoshopped it on, her life got ruined. And so the answer is, it's unfortunate that kind of stuff happens. But just keep recognizing where to find your strong suits, and hopefully we can create that technology to help prevent the technology to help easily see where the deep fakes are happening, essentially.
Yeah, and I suspect at some point it will be, and I might be oversimplifying this, but you know how they can take that little marker and check $100 bill to see if it's legit. I suspect at some point we'll have a tool on our PCs and phones to help us as well. And another common misconception, Andrew, is that AI is infallible, that it's always correct. How do AI systems make mistakes, and what safeguards are in place to minimize these errors? I mean, they do the disclaimers, but what are some ways that AI can, we need to really be careful when we use it and double check? And what safeguards are in place to minimize these errors?
Yeah, I know about you, Dr. Mo, but I think we'd all like to be correct all the time and be infallible.
Yes.
But just like humans aren't perfect, AI is not perfect either. And, it's unfortunate. There's a lot of studies like ChatGPT being biased politically or racially or being biased in one way or another. And the answer is that it's unfortunate. And so we definitely need to watch out for that and take that into consideration and constantly tweak and adjust it. And remember, it's just taking the information that's fed into it. And so figuring out, how we can be better about having more neutral parties give it information and being able to help fact check it from proper sources and things like that, and make sure history is properly written as well. Mm-hmm. So just recognize too that, and also so for example, ChatGPT, it's only accurate as of 2021, I think November 2021 or something like that, and you and I are recording this in August 2023. And granted, I believe other ChatGPT competitors like Bard and Llama and a few other ones and Bing GPT, I think they're all connected to the internet. But that could change too. And I'm sure it's a lot of work to have a console be connected to the internet. And then what happens if you rewrite the internet? And obviously you can go down that rabbit hole. So the answer is, take your ChatGPT sources with a grain of salt. Make sure you're constantly double checking and triple checking things, making sure it's updated for the current time period, and you can keep going from there.
Okay, cool. For you've mentioned several different AI platform systems. I'm not sure what we're calling them, but what are your favorites?
Some of my favorites are one called video.ai, vidyo.ai. And the reason why I love it so much is because as a podcaster who hosts other guests, I can upload a raw video or YouTube link to it, and it will automatically create highlight clips that I can post on social media. And it will tell me the title of the clip. It will caption it. I can put my own template in, and it will say, hey, and I can tell it how long clip to make it, like 15 seconds or 60 seconds or 2 minutes. And it will say, hey, during your hour-long interview to minute 22 to 23, you had a really good point talking about why AI should be used for the average day entrepreneur or something like that. You're like, oh yeah, I agree. It's a great clip I should post on social media, and also reformats it automatically for Instagram versus TikTok versus YouTube Shorts versus Facebook. So I definitely love that tool. Another one I love is castmagic.io. And they charge a monthly subscription to automatically create show notes for your episodes. And I don't know about you, but it takes a lot of time to create the show notes and think about how am I going to create a good summary of the episode. And it creates the show notes, what you should post on LinkedIn, what you should post on Twitter, what you should send to your email list about highlights from the episode. What are some great quotes from your episode? And it does that for all of you practically instantly. But because because I have a lot of subscriptions on my bank accounts at the moment, I got Cast Magic from AppSumo, where I just paid a one-time lifetime subscription. And its competitor right now, for those listening in and they're still able to listen in time, its competitor is Podnotes, which you can find on AppSumo and get a lifetime subscription, so you don't have to pay each month. But Podnotes does something similar too, where it creates transcriptions, show notes, and highlighted content. So those are a couple of the tools that I love using. And then, of course, because Bard is connected to the internet and it's free to use, I'm using Bard with Google at the moment, which is ChatGPT's competitor. And so those are some of the three top tools that I love using.
Those are nice. And I'll throw out their Podium, which is what I use to create show notes. And I just upload the MP3. And I like the one you said about the video AI. I need to look into that one. But yeah, just put the MP3 in there and it can regenerate so many iterations. Pretty much anything you ask for along with emojis.
Yep. Emojis are fun.
Yeah, people like that, because when I do it myself, I don't have time for all of that. I'm just racking my brain at lunchtime trying to get it done. And it's still like what you and I are doing here, interacting, talking. It's not taking away from the creative process. It's just, making it concise and summarizing it and saving us time. Saving us time. Fantastic. Is there anything you'd like to add or encourage someone who is hesitant? They're worried about it, taking their intellectual property or taking over their minds. I don't know what people worry about.
Well, I just want to remind people too that, like, yes, AI can be scary, just because it's also scary to learn new things in general. A classic example, I don't know about you, but the first time I learned to drive a car, I was going, oh gosh, where's the gas pedal? What do you mean I can't press the brake and the gas pedal at the same time? Oh, what do you mean if I turn too quick, the car turns into itself? And I was so scared. And now I'm so comfortable driving a car. I don't personally do this, but I hear stories of people who are driving a car. They have a burger in one hand, a milkshake in the other hand. They're driving stick with their elbow, and they're driving with their knees on the steering wheel. I use the analogy of AI right now as us just stepping into the car for the first time. That yes, it's scary. Yes, it's intimidating. But if you can learn how to properly drive a car and get to your destination 1,000, 1,000,000 times faster, why not have that same mindset with AI, where you can help create things 10 times faster and make more impact and help more people and utilize your creative skill sets to really make your impact that you want to make. So I really encourage people is recognize that it is definitely worth learning how to use AI to help make your life easier and help impact more people. And you can do it. And I believe in you if you're listening in.
Thank you. You're right. It's scary and it's intimidating, but ultimately you're driving the car. It's not driving you. And
exactly.
On that, exactly. And that makes it useful. Before we go, please tell listeners how to connect with you online and to learn more about what you're doing with your public speaking, your accountability coaching, setting Guinness World Records.
Yes, you can definitely connect with me on social media. You can find me at the Andrew J. Weiss, Weiss. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, the Andrew J. Weiss. Happy to connect with you. If you're more of an email person, you can email me, andrew@weisswisdom.com. And I'm currently running cohorts teaching people how to use AI to make their life easier. We just finished this last one recently. I know that's how Dr. Mo and I got connected, was I was helping another client with her AI skills. And I love helping people leverage AI to be more productive and make more money. So happy to connect with you.
And obviously we will have AI drop those links in the show notes.
Yes.
We want to thank you so much today and for joining us today, Andrew Weiss. This has been very, very informative. I've got notes on top of my notes here, and because I still got a little analog old school in me, but I am learning. And I hope you all are learning too. Thank you for joining us. That wraps up today's episode of Perpetual Motion with Dr. Mo Anderson. I trust you gained valuable insights. And be sure to tune in next time for more enlightening discussions. Don't forget to subscribe and like and leave us a review. Until then, stay curious and keep exploring. Thank you. Wasn't that a great program? Oh, love that episode. I enjoyed it. I hope you did too. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share. Learn more about me on my website, drmoanderson.com. That's MOE. You can read book excerpts, watch videos, learn about my services that I offer, and book me for a speaking engagement. I'd love to talk with your group, and I'd love to work with you. So until the next time, review, renew, and renew. Thank you.